Hi, everybody. Welcome to Discover College Flag. Today, I'm lucky enough to be joined by Coach Stephanie at Blackburn. Welcome, Coach.
Good morning. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning to you too. Happy to have you. Exciting things. Blackburn gonna have a full flag season next fall. Well, you'll start in the fall for the spring season, right?
Yes, yes. So right now, building a brand new program, foundation up, everything. And so the ones that are incoming, and I also have some athletes who are already here and some students who are interested in playing as well. So we'll be using the off season for 2026, or fall 2026, to prepare for spring 2027. The cool thing about it though is that I have a lot of dual athletes on my team. So they'll be involved in basketball, wrestling, women's wrestling and stuff. So that's exciting because they're just staying active.
Yeah, no, and that seems to be, I've heard from a lot of different folks really recruiting folks either from other sports or the dual athletes really just to kind of help seed the team with athletes, right? With somebody who knows, and then you got to teach them the flag components, right?
Right. So we encourage like dual athletes here, and that's a great thing because a lot of skills that you learn from other sports correlates to flag, or for example, my basketball players that change of direction when they're pivoting and everything, and flag when they're changing to not get their flags pulled, and they know that concept and they know the skill for it. And really, athletes, right, in general, and if you're a coachable athlete and everything, it makes it just so much easier.
Yeah, for sure. Well, in terms of you're building a roster from ground up, where are you going to recruit? Or did you watch a lot of spring high school flag football games? You going to club tournaments? What's it looking like?
All right, so I've been to Orlando. I've been to Green Bay, Indianapolis. I'll be going to Kentucky, Louisville at the end of this month. I'll be heading to Villa Park, Illinois, on Thursday to Willowbrook. They're having like the Chicago Bears having the NFL 7-on-7 high school summer flag tournament. I've been to Chicago so many times. I even went back home to El Paso, Texas, to do some recruiting because they had the Region 19 championship before they headed to the state championship in Dallas this last month. So I've been around. I've even been to Glendale. So from Illinois, little central mid Illinois to this, part of some of the West Coast or West areas, and then of course Illinois. St. Louis is only an hour and a half away, and they started flag football. So I've been talking to some young ladies there. They've been coming to my clinics, and also Tennessee as well. I went to the Jackson State Community College coach invited me to be a coach for his clinic that he had. So I was able to go to Jackson, Tennessee to also let them know about Blackburn College as well.
Nice. So, well, you mentioned community college. I'm guessing that, there are a decent number of, junior college flag programs, and with a new program, you don't want to have, all freshmen, right? So, have you been looking at community college folks for transferring in as well?
I have as well. The really neat thing that I found out about, with flag growing and everything, all the coaches have been working together, and they're not ones to be like, I'm going to keep this recruit just for me. They open it up. And so, for example, the Springfield coach in Illinois, Springfield, Illinois, invited me to also help out at a camp there in clinic. So we're all working together to just get talent out and introduce the flag football at the collegiate level, even though it's already at a JUCO or such. Still at that next level to give them that opportunity. We don't want to close doors to any ladies who might miss out. And so I will take maybe a basketball player that's a JUCO player wants to try flag football. As long as the coach tells me they're coachable and they have these certain characteristics and skills, I will love for them to come to for my flag football because it's a brand new program, and that's where I'm sculpting, and it's up to me to be the coach to coach them up to get them up to par with the flag football skills.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Well, how many players are you looking to have on that initial first season's roster?
So I would love to have 15. Right now we're at the range almost 8 to 10 due to again students coming here, new recruits, and then I'm still recruiting. I still have roster spots available, and then also students who are already here that are still coming out. So the thing about here, NCAA and everything, or just proper etiquette. We don't want to poach players from different teams, right? They have to approach you.
Yeah.
So if a player mentions to someone else, "Hey, I want to try out for flag," they have to come to me. I can't come if they're already involved in a different sport. It's just proper etiquette too, right? Like you don't want to do that either. And so I know there's many ladies here still on at Blackburn College that are current students that are thinking about still playing. They just haven't approached me yet. They're more, we have events. We have like a little flag football games, little pickup games, little open skill sessions and everything that they're all invited to just come out and try it out.
Okay. Well, you mentioned, you're looking for athletes, you're looking for coachability. What about, what are some of the other things you're looking for in a player that makes them stand out that you want to reach out to them?
Yes. So one thing I really like to see is their character out there on the field and how they also adapt to adversity. So what I mean by adapting to adversity, say if I'm a wide open receiver, right? And the quarterback doesn't see me, but they throw it to my other teammate who still catches the ball to get positive yards or, progression. But just because I was wide open, I'm going to go like this, throw my hands up in the air and be like, what the heck? I was wide open. Why'd you throw me? Or are you cheering your teammate on that caught that ball? Little things like that I know I pay attention to just because to see, is that what you're going to bring to the team? Are you, happy for other people's successes? Because at the end of the day, it's we before me or we above me and doing what's best for the team. And so that's one of the main thing I look at. If they're on the sideline, maybe they're not in the game, are they looking at the bench or are they engaged into the game? Are they turned around, looking at the fans, engaging, anything like that? Or are they paying attention to the game too as well? I'm looking at that. If their body language when coach is talking to them, eye contact, all eyes on coach. I know sometimes we might be a little awkward, like, oh, I don't want to stare at the person so much, but just that respect, right? And then two, I talked about like the offensive side. Now on the defensive side, what happens when you miss a flag? Do you just miss a flag and hang your shoulders and just stop, or do you miss that flag, turn around and hustle to try to make up for it? Little things like that, because it just also just shows like how you adapt to when things don't go your way, and that's also going to be how life is, right? Outside. So a lot of the times, what I like to do as a coach is not only teach you things that are going to be applied on the field, but stuff you're going to take out to you in your real life.
Love that. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the school. Some folks maybe not familiar with Blackburn. So, uh, you know, if I'm not mistaken, you also help out with the basketball program there. So you've been there a little bit. Tell us what are some cool things about Blackburn, maybe some things we wouldn't even know by going through the website.
All right. So Blackburn College, right? It's a small private college in Carlinville, Illinois. About 505 students, 420 of them are on campus. Now, people might think, oh, that's a very tiny, too small or anything. But the really cool thing about it is that it's so family tight knit. And coming from El Paso, a big city, right? About 700,000 people to a small town in Carlinville, about 5,500 people. I didn't know, oh my gosh, here I am coming this way. I have not met an unkind soul yet here. And everyone has just been so supportive, all the faculty, staff, other coaches, the townspeople, like the Carlinvillians, I guess I don't know how to say it, but everyone's been so nice. And I see that with the students as well. And so, yes, some kids might come from far away. They might get that homesickness, anything, but there's so much support here to help you. And so that's one really thing that drew me about coming here on my interview. And so that is one thing that really stands out about Blackburn College. The president of the college will meet you and get to know you. So I don't know, President Lee, his son is Spencer Lee, Olympic wrestler. So President Lee loves athletics. And he also loves Blackburn College, and that's something too. I really like when I see him walking sometimes, and he'll see like a piece of trash on the ground or something, he'll pick it up and throw it away. And that lifts me up to want to do that too, to take care of my school, to be like, wow, my president is so proud of this school and everything, which he should be, because it is a great school. it just lifts you up, right? So he's like a transformational leader in a way, and it makes you want to be like that as well. So that's one thing that's really neat is that the president, how involved he is. He actually would come to my clinics and meet the girls who come, personally meet them and be like, how are you? Where are you from? Talk to their parents and everything. And I don't, at bigger schools and stuff, sometimes the president doesn't have time to do that, which makes it unique, right? You actually know the president here. So that's one really cool thing that stands out about Blackburn College. Another thing is that it's a work program college. It's the only student-led work program college. So what that means is that not only are the students here are students, athletes, but they're also employees of the college. So it's led by a student. They're your supervisor. And so let's just, for example, say the grass is growing here, right? Blackburn doesn't hire third-party vendors. The students just get to choose what department. Of course, they'll have to do like a interview, resume, everything, just like a job you would have to apply for. So it's hands-on experience. So instead of third-party vendors, the students at Blackburn are the ones that are taking care of the school. So you really don't get that at other universities or colleges, right? They usually have the third-party vendors take care of it and everything. And I think that just, shows that the Blackburn student is a little built different, because who wants to really juggle athletics, academics, and then having to be an employee of the school, right? Sometimes. But you get that hands-on experience, which helps build your resume. So by the time you graduate, normally employers ask new employees how, experience, what's your years of experience? At Blackburn College, you already have that. And it helps. So, and Blackburn has a 97.6 placement rate within 6 months of graduation for students having a full-time job already, which is, a great way, teaches that hands-on experience and all. It's pretty neat because, there's just a certain pride that these Blackburn students have, saying, this is like my baby that I'm taking care of. And, and just to see them be able to juggle everything and be efficient with their time and still maintain like enough, high enough grades to stay eligible and still with the strength conditioning, all that with and their practices and everything, it's just incredible. And it's only 10 hours a week, so that's 2 hours a day, but it's flexible as long as you take that initiative to be communicating with your supervisor. But it's just like everyday life, right? Or outside life when you go into the big world. They're teaching you skills and experiences that you will need later on. So that's another great thing that's cool about Blackburn College. And Blackburn gives you an $8,000 tuition credit back
Okay.
as a way to pay you back for being that employee. So it's pretty neat to have that. You get that resume building, that experience, that hands-on stuff experience, and then the tuition credit. And let's just say maybe someone wants to be a veterinarian. We have a vivarium and beehives that you are able to work in that department and get that experience right there to help you. So it's really cool to see that. And that's just, we have 12 departments that you can work on or work in. So it's pretty cool, to have that opportunity here. And then the another unique thing, and I mentioned it earlier, was about dual athletes. We encourage that. We have some triathletes. We have volleyball players, softball players, basketball players. We have basketball players that do track, and women's wrestlers that do track, and then of course my athletes that are going to do basketball, women's wrestling, and flag football. And the cool thing about that is like we encourage that. We don't say just stick to my sport. We trust each other as coaches enough to know that they're in good hands, and that when they come after their sport is done, they'll be ready for our sport. So one cool thing, about me helping with the women's basketball team, I am a volunteer assistant. So there's certain things like I can kind of, slide with the NCAA rules, you know what I mean? And so I'll be able to be like with my flag girls at that time. You get me?
Yep.
Still be around them and everything. Of course, we're going to be talking about like basketball and all that, but I'll still be around them, helping them with basketball. That again, those skills correlate or translate to flag football.
Yeah,
So
that's nice.
it's just pretty cool. It's pretty cool to just to have that, because sometimes there's some schools where like, oh, we're the basketball school or we're the volleyball powerhouse or something, and we don't want to share. And here it's just different. And sports athletics here at Blackburn is to enhance your experience. So the more you're able to play and you enjoy doing, and it's what you want to do, the we're not here to stop that.
No, that's great. Well, let's talk about what the players can expect. We'll fast forward to say, you know, August, September. They're coming in fresh for the start of the school year. That's your off season. What's the schedule going to be like for the players during that time of year?
Definitely. So for the players who aren't going to be in different sports, we're allowed, I believe it's 26 off-season practices per NCAA. So those will include, strength and conditioning to make sure safety first, right? We want to make sure that they're well maintained. So by the time when they get out to the field and season starts, they don't have a high risk of getting injury. Um, Joking, like there's a joke around back at home where I'm called like the ACL coach. They're like, oh, ACL, because every time I'm like, ACL ladies, keep your knees out. Because I also help with the strength conditioning as well. So I'm a huge ACL out. Even with the guys too, I sometimes see them when they let their knees knock and anything like that. But the main thing is just we're going to focus on the strength and conditioning to maintain your bodies, to make sure you are prepared and ready to hit that field out there, of course. And then it's going to involve some chalk talk. So yes, we haven't played yet, but there will be other teams that will face that have played. So we'll dissect film. We'll learn certain tendencies just to see, like, okay, if this receiver always does this, that normally means she's going to get the ball right when she lines up. Or if the running back puts her hands on her legs, like on her thighs, that means that she's just going to do a fake, maybe a RPO or anything like that, because just like reading certain tendencies like that. How is the blitzer fast, rusher fast? Do their quarterback always like to run plays or throw plays, or certain little tendencies like that we'll be watching. We're going to learn how to do that. And what I like to do with my ladies is like I like to tell them first what they see. Let me see, like, let's see what you see first. Like if you were going one-on-one on this person or this defender or receiver or rusher or anything, what would what do you see of that? And then of course we'll have our practices. Um, and the practices were about 2 hours, nothing too crazy, anything like that. Of course, the academic schedules from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So of course, anything after that or before that would be the scheduling, and also if your work schedule as well. But that's again when you would just need to talk to your supervisor. And the really neat thing about like supervisors is that they're students, right? Like I said, they're student led, so they understand. They know what it's like to be a student and having to be this employee as well. So they understand how sometimes there's scheduling conflicts and everything. So they have that mutual understanding. But again, it's up to you, teaching you to take that initiative and be communicating and everything with your supervisor. And that's what you're gonna have to do later on, right? When you graduate, when you get a boss.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I those are the what I'm expecting with this off season. Of course, community service events as well. I would love for us to get involved with the community any way that we can, to let them know that we can't be here without your support. So we're supporting you as well. And then too, I know we're affiliated with Division 3, but my goal, regardless of Division 3, is to treat this as an elite program, because they're elite athletes for making it into the next level, regardless of the affiliation. And I've always say this, like the statistic is what 7% of athletes make it to the next level, and that's including all sports. It's not just flag football; that's including every single sport that's in a high school level. So only 7% make it to the collegiate level, regardless if it's D3, D1, D3, D2, JUCO, NEIA, anything like that. So that's incredible. So treat it that way. Just because you're D3 doesn't mean you're not any better. You're not considered. I mean, you're considered elite, and so that's my goal for this program, to treat it that way. And it's just to teach you, like, you make the best of each situation, right? You make what it's like. For example, for the Winter Olympics, there's D3 athletes in it. They didn't say, "Oh, I was just a D3 athlete, I'm not gonna." No, they didn't care. They were a D3 athlete, but still pushed and made the best of it, and now they were in the Winter Olympics. So I like to use one of our basketball players that graduated. She D3, but she made her national Puerto Rican basketball team. She got first round draft pick, number 10. And so that's incredible, right? She didn't say, "Oh, I'm just a D3 athlete." No, now she gets to represent her country, which is crazy. That, so it's just, it doesn't matter. Yes, we, the D1 or bust mindset. I'm a JUCO product. I went to New Mexico Military Institute. And so I'm a JUCO prep, played volleyball, collegiate volleyball and everything, but and I don't mean to like just go off tangent or anything, but just to say like I didn't let that stop me. I'm a pro tackle football player for the St. Louis Slam. I didn't be like, oh, I was just a JUCO product. I'm a scrub, anything like that. No, I took it as I'm a collegiate athlete. I'm gonna rep myself as a collegiate athlete.
Yeah,
So
that's great. Yeah, you got to have that mindset. Well, fast forward to that spring season, what should players expect on a weekly basis in terms of training? How many games you guys going to play? Who you playing? What's that going to look like?
so right now, since we are a brand new team and we're getting kind of like our feet wet, we are going to have a condensed schedule. The furthest we will travel is to Fulton, Missouri, which is about 3 hours away. But they're in our conference. We're part of the St. Louis Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. So the only schools in our conference that have flag football right now that will be sponsoring a spring 2027, it's us, Greenville University, it's Westman University, which that's the school that's going to be in Fulton. I'm sorry, Westminster College, sorry, which is good. That's the one that's in Fulton, Missouri, and then Eureka College. So we have 9 total schools in our conference, and only 4 of us are sponsoring a flag football season for spring 2027. We're hoping later on more will because we need at least 6 in order to sponsor a conference championship. So we're going to be playing against Millikan University,
Mhm.
which is in Decatur, which is about 2 hours away. We're going to be playing UIS Springfield, which is Division 2. So we're going to be cross divisioning and cross conferencing as well. And they're all going to be new programs too. And so we have it's a small condensed schedule. Only 8 games are. It's still tentative because we might set up some try matches at away games. I know East Texas Baptist reached out and Coach Cedric at Eureka and we both agreed that we would be interested in doing a try match against them. That'd be cool to get them down here. But the schedule looks like it's gonna be from March 10th through April 21st. So it's going to be a small condense, but just to get our feet wet. And then as it grows and continues, then we'll expand. We'll go further. I know schools like Ripon in Wisconsin have asked, about scrimmaging, and I just said near future. Let's just start small right now and then expand later on when it comes to the scheduling. I also don't want to take too much away from like the girls' schooling as well. We want to make sure we get those ducks in a row first, and then plan accordingly after that to see how everything goes or how they adjust to it and all. With the trainings and everything, again, still do light weights. We would not do anything heavy, anything. So we'll still stick with our strength and conditioning, agility work, and then our practices as well. And our games are scheduled to be played on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Okay, awesome. Well, Coach, you've given us a bunch of info, and I'm gonna got one last question for you, and that is, what didn't we talk about? What did we miss? What else would you want anybody to know? Maybe folks that are looking to get recruited and play in college, or anything else like that. What else should they know?
I would just say, for the athletes who are looking to get recruited, again, regardless, if you feel like you're like D1, D2, and not D3 or anything, still acknowledge the coach. Still acknowledge, the email. Just say, answer, no, thank you, or thank you for reaching out. That way, that coach will know, okay, they're not interested or anything. Don't what's the word? Don't ghost
Yeah.
in a way. You don't want to ghost. It's just proper etiquette consideration. I know, like just putting in their perspectives. Maybe if they had like an event or something that they wanted someone to respond to, but that person ghosts them. They wouldn't want that happening, right? So just and coaches talk. Coaches do talk. I've had a coach. I mentioned, I was at an event, and someone said, and I don't mean to, I just bringing up that coaches do talk, right?
Yep.
Someone mentioned something about, well, why don't you recruit athletes from New York? And this coach personally said, no, because of my experience with them, I'm not touching that area anymore. When it was in regards to like attitudes and like personalities and stuff like that. Just how so coaches talk, and so if you don't acknowledge one coach, you know what I mean, or ghost or anything, that coach might talk to another coach and let them know, and so that will completely like be like, okay, never mind, And I also do want to know, let that recruits know too. There's a school for everyone. There's a school out there for everyone. And one thing that I do in my recruiting is that I do not like to overlook hidden gems. There's hidden gems everywhere. Maybe you didn't have a great game one time, but what about the next game? Something like, things like that. Don't get discouraged or anything, because again, there's a school for everyone, and part of it is that you have to take that initiative and you have to again make the best of the situation, everything. That way you will be able to have that opportunity to play collegiate flag football. Because coaches are looking at them, and if they I see all the time in like the collegiate flag football Facebook page, everything, where coaches are constantly posting roster spots still available. You know, so there's a school out there for everyone.
For sure. Well, Coach, I really appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck in your inaugural season, and hopefully you'll fill out that roster and have some great success.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity. And if anyone has any questions or anything, please feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.